Hi, I'm Christy Kirkup with the Globe and Mail. Mr. Singh, with all due respect, you are the most experienced federal leader, but you're going into this campaign considered the underdog. How is that possible?
Well, I'm very familiar and comfortable being an underdog. I think a lot of Canadians can relate to that. But what I'm looking at right now is I'm seeing a country where there's a lot of workers who are worried about losing their jobs. I hear people worried about the cost of living getting more expensive. And I know that folks like Pierre Poilievre and Mark Carney would want nothing better than for the New Democrats to disappear. For us not to point out the fact that Mark Carney's first steps was to bring in a tax cut for millionaires at a time when he's promising also his plan is to cut services for people. And that Pierre Poilievre shows up to a factory where workers had just lost their job. And he proposes a tax cut for big business and nothing for those workers who lost their job. I'm sure they would want nothing other than for us to disappear and not point out those things. But news to them, we're not going anywhere. We're here and we're going to fight for people every single day.
And just as a follow-up, if I may just drill down on you. Again, it's your third campaign, so why are you deserving of a job promotion going into an election campaign with such weakened support?
Well, we've shown Canadians who were feeling really like a lot of struggle and worries that we can deliver for them. When people were saying that we can't afford to take care of our teeth, we delivered dental care. For folks that were telling us that they couldn't afford their medication, we delivered pharmacare. We've delivered for Canadians. And I want folks to know in this time when there are serious threats to our country, we know that the other guys aren't in it for you. They showed you their priorities. Mark Carney spent his career making rich people richer, and he's done it profiting off of the crisis, like the housing crisis. Pierre Poilievre, like Conservatives always do, wants tax cuts for his billionaire buddies and cut services for you and your family. If you want someone that's going to fight for you, that's always going to put you and your family first. Not the billionaires, not the CEOs, but you. That's us. That's New Democrats. And that's what we're going to show you every single day of this campaign.
Thank you very much. Next media.
Hi, Mr. Singh, Taria, Isri, Global News. During your speech, you described Carney as an elitist and Poilievre as someone who cuts deals with billionaires. But poll after poll shows that their messages are resonating more than yours. So why do you think that is?
Well, this is an important election, and in this election, we're going to show Canadians the choices that they have. Mark Carney is already showing you now his priorities. What are some of the first things that he did once becoming Prime Minister? He did a flip-flop on capital gains, which is a tax cut that benefits mostly people who earn more than $1.4 million a year. He is prioritizing the people that he's always worked for, his whole career. Not surprising. He has made rich people richer, and he's done it on the backs of working class folks. He's done it on the backs of the middle class folks. And so I want folks to know that. They need to know who he's in it for. And Pierre Poilievre, his plan is also one that's going to give tax breaks to billionaires and cut services for you. He's already said he's going to cut, his plan is to cut dental care. He wants to cut pensions. He's already put that plan forward. He wants to cut the things that you and your family need to give more to his billionaire buddies. We are different. We are proposing a plan. Our plan is to lower your bills, to take on the corporate grocery giants that jack up your prices, put in place a price cap on those food essentials, to ban corporations from buying up affordable homes. We are going to fight for you. Every day of this campaign, we're going to show you the choices that you have, and we're going to make it clear that New Democrats have your back and that we're in it for you.
You also seem to tie both Carney and Poilievre to Trump in their own ways, if I'm reading that correctly. Do you think both of those leaders are Trump-like in their own way, and is that part of your strategy in this campaign, to tie them to the U.S. president?
Well, let's be clear. Donald Trump has come out and endorsed Mark Carney. Elon Musk has endorsed Pierre Poilievre. I'm the only federal candidate that is 100% not endorsed by the Donald Trump administration.
Merci beaucoup. Prochain média, Radio-Canada.
En français, juste sur ça.
Oui. Et je peux le faire encore en anglais parce que j'ai aimé dire ça.
Non, ça va aller juste en français, on va le prendre, merci.
Elon Musk has endorsed Pierre Poilievre. Donald Trump has endorsed Mark Carney. I'm the only candidate 100% not endorsed by anyone in the Donald Trump administration.
Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. Mark Ramsey with the Toronto Star. You're spending quite a bit of time attacking Mark Carney and his record. He's not spending much time talking about you. You're spending a lot of time talking about Pierre Poilievre and his record. He's spending much time talking about you. Why do you think that is?
Well, I want these folks to know, I want Canadians to know what they're really about. And I'm sure Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre would love for me not to mention what they're really trying to do and what their plan is about. But that's what we're going to do in this campaign. We're going to let folks know honestly what the other parties want to do. Mark Carney is showing us in real time his priorities. He's shown you that his priority is to do what he's done throughout his career to make rich folks richer. He did that when he was the head of Brookfield, that engaged in rent evictions, that kicked people out of affordable homes and put those homes back on the market for triple the price they were before. He made money off the housing crisis, off of people struggling to find a home. People need to know that. They need to know that his priority is tax cuts for millionaires and cutting services for you and your family. People need to also know that Pierre Poilievre wants to do what conservatives always do. They want to cut services like health care, like dental care, like pensions. They want to cut them so they can give bigger tax breaks for their billionaire buddies. People need to know the choices they have, and they also need to know you Democrats will always have their back. We will lower your bills, build homes you can actually afford, bring down the price of groceries, make your life better.
And if Canadians elect a minority conservative or liberal government in this election, would you commit to working with either of them, or is there one in particular you wouldn't want to work with?
This is day one of the election campaign. I'm running to be Prime Minister of this country because I believe people deserve a Prime Minister that's going to work for them every single day. And that's what New Democrats do. We work for working people. We work for everyday families. And I think people deserve that. So that's what we're going to do. We'll worry about the results of the election afterwards. I'm running for Prime Minister because I believe in you and I choose you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, David Thurton, CBC News.
Hey.
This election, Mr. Singh, is about a couple of things. One of those things is certainly change. Do you feel that your past support for the Justin Trudeau government is going to make it harder for you to embody change?
What we have shown folks is that we can deliver real change. We can deliver concrete changes in your life. We have shown you that when we go out and campaign on dental care, we can deliver it. I think about this boy that I met in Parliament with his dad. He wanted to visit me and talk to me about his illness. He's a kid with type 2 diabetes, young kid living with an incurable disease. And though he's got to take injections and he's got to take medication just to stay alive, he told me that he was not worried about any of that. The injections, the medication, monitoring his blood sugar, none of that bothered him. He was worried that he was a burden on his dad. And I promised that kid that I was going to fight like hell to make sure he didn't have to worry about the cost of medication. And I kept my promise. We have now a pharmacare program. 3 provinces have signed up where diabetes medication and devices will be free. That's what we did. We made that happen. That was never going to happen with Liberals on their own. That was never going to happen without New Democrats forcing it to happen, making it happen. So we can deliver real things that make people's lives better. And I want you to know that when I promise to bring down prices, when I promise to take on corporate greed, when I promise to ban corporations from buying up affordable homes, you can trust me because I deliver.
Mr. Singh, I'll just follow up here. You had a lot to say about Mark Carney and a lot about what he's done to cash in on this crisis, you said. What evidence do you have that Mark Carney has done anything unethical to take advantage of this crisis?
Well, the fact that he headed up Brookfield, and Brookfield is a large corporate landlord in Canada that engaged in rent eviction. At a time when Canadians could not find affordable homes, he saw a way to make more profit for his company. And now I don't fault him for making profit for his company. I fault him for proposing that somehow the person that fed the housing crisis, that rent evicted people, that jacked up the price of homes that were affordable, that bought up affordable homes, then turned them into unaffordable places, that somehow that guy could be trusted to fix the housing crisis. He cannot be trusted. What he's going to do is what he's done his entire career, which is make more money for the super rich. And it's going to hurt you and your family. That's what people need to know. And I'm going to point that out every time I get. I'm also going to point out that Pierre Poilievre is proposing to cut the things that you need at a time of uncertainty and fear and worry. He wants to cut healthcare, cut pensions, cut childcare. These are things that are going to cost you out of pocket. And he's doing all of that just to give bigger tax breaks to the richest, as conservatives always do. You deserve better than that. You deserve New Democrats who will bring down your bills, build homes you can afford, and make sure life is more affordable.
Last questions, CTV.
Hey, Rachel Aiello, CTV News. Have you had or did you try to have any conversations with Liberal leader Mark Carney since he won that election?
No, we've not had any conversations.
And so heading into this campaign, you're talking a lot about look at what the NDP were able to do in the last parliament. How are you going to cross the country trying to pitch Canadians on that message when you've got no assurances that your old dance partner's new leader wants to tango with you at all?
Well, because I don't want to dance with them. I want to be the prime minister of this country. I want folks to know that we got things done, and you can see that we delivered for you. Imagine if you elect more of us, how much more we can do for you. Imagine if you elect a New Democrat government, what we could do for you. That's what I want people to know.